Hi everyone, and welcome to our informational webinar, How the EPI Process Works. My name is Jessica and I work as a content specialist for EPI. I am from the mountains of North Carolina, and before working for EPI, I taught English at the community college level. Today I will be talking to you about what you can expect as an EPI applicant from when you start your application to when you come to the United States. We also want you to take this opportunity to ask any questions that you have about our process. You can ask us questions in the comment box and we will answer them at the end of our presentation today. Keep in mind that we won't be able to answer questions about your specific application for privacy reasons. All of those questions should be emailed to us at team@teachwithepi.com. So today we will be explaining EPI's program and give you an overview of everything from the application to becoming a cultural ambassador. By the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of each step of the process. So if you are joining us for the first time, we are Educational Partners International, or EPI for short, and we are a cultural exchange program that brings international teachers to teach in K-12 schools in the United States. Our mission is to bring some of the best teachers from around the world to come to the U.S. to share their cultural experiences. As you can read here, our goal is to strengthen K-12 education by discovering and empowering the world's best international teachers in order to facilitate authentic cultural exchange. The results of this include teachers and students that become lifelong learners, embrace 21st century skills, and serve as change agents in an interconnected world of global understanding. While we work with schools across the southern United States, our home office is in North Carolina, which is about where the arrow is on the map on your screen. We would love to know where all of you are from too, so please take the time to tell us in the comments. So the EPI program can be broken into these 6 steps. First, you fill out an application to determine your program eligibility. Then you are placed and approved, where you become eligible for school interviews. After completing a successful school interview, you become placed in a U.S. school. You then prepare for arrival and orientation in the U.S. and become an EPI program member. You will spend 3 years in the U.S. as an EPI teacher, and then you will return home to become a cultural ambassador around the world. So the first step in the EPI program is the application. EPI's application is thorough, and it does a few important things for you. First, filling out the application creates a professional profile for schools to look at when they are considering teachers for interviews. We also use this information to determine whether or not you meet our eligibility requirements. So some of the requirements for being an EPI teacher are that you are currently teaching, you have 2 years full-time teaching experience, and that you have the equivalence of a U.S. bachelor's degree. Finally, the application helps you collect the documents that you will need to apply for a visa, travel to the United States, and obtain a teaching license. As an EPI applicant, you will also be asked to upload a variety of documents to prove that you are able to travel and teach in the United States. You will have 2 online interviews with EPI team members. The EPI team will ask you questions about your teaching experience, classroom management, and lesson planning, as well as some other topics that will prove your eligibility and qualifications. After the interviews, you will be asked to provide proof of employment and your credentials. So once you have uploaded all of your documents and passed the 2 EPI interviews, you are moved to what we call the approved stage. Being an approved means that your application with EPI is complete and you have passed a background check, met our requirements, and are now eligible for school interviews. As a candidate and approved, your application becomes a professional profile that is available to U.S. schools. They will look through the applications of all of our teachers and approve to choose which ones they would like to interview over a video call. If the interview goes well and the school is interested in working with you, you will then be placed. So, placement means that you have accepted an offer from a school and will be coming to the USA to teach. Teachers who are placed through EPI teach in public, private, and charter schools in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Florida. As soon as you arrive in the US, you will participate in an in-person EPI orientation where you can meet EPI team members and start building relationships with other EPI teachers. During this time, you will learn more about life and education in the US, as well as the rules and regulations of the exchange visitor program. Our orientation lasts several days, giving you lots of time to ask questions, acclimate to the new culture, and prepare for the upcoming school year. At the end, you will travel to your new community where you will meet current EPI program members who will help you settle in. After you complete orientation, you become an official EPI program member. As an EPI program member, you will teach in the US for 3 years. During that time, you will have access to 24/7 support from our trained and professional support team. Our teacher support team can help you with everything from culture shock to meeting the needs of struggling learners. The relationship between you and the support team is an important one and will continue throughout your time in the United States. It includes not only orientation and arrival support, but also professional development programs and one-on-one instructional and cultural coaching. Should you need help of any kind while you are in the United States, the EPI support team is here for you. As an EPI teacher, you will also have the opportunity to share your culture with your students here in the United States through cultural exchange projects. Today we have a couple of examples of projects our teachers have done in the past. Claudia, a Spanish immersion teacher from Mexico, wanted to teach her children about how Mother's Day is celebrated in her home country. She hosted a Mother's Day celebration where her students read poems in Spanish and sang songs for their mothers. And this is an event that a couple of our Jamaican teachers did together. For this event, they made Jamaican food. They also taught traditional dances to the students and teachers at their school. After teaching in the United States for 3 years with EPI, you will then return to your home country where you will be able to become a cultural ambassador. After you return, you will be able to share what you have learned about the US with people in your home country, just like you shared your culture while you were here. This is one of the most important steps in the whole process because this is what cultural exchange is all about. Building mutual understanding between cultures by sharing your experiences. Today we also have a video of some of our Latina teachers talking about their experiences teaching in the US with EPI. After this brief video, we will be answering your questions in a live question and answer session. So here is their stories.
We always meet with the immersion teachers and we were like, you know, what can we do that is fun, that people can get excited about, they can come, and we can just share a little bit of our culture. Something that like we all had in common was really music and dancing, and just we're very happy people because our students in immersion are exposed to our cultures daily, but we thought that that could include the whole community.
We want to bring the music because music is our style, music is our way, music is in our veins.
We can show
what music represents for us, the importance that the rhythm has for us, and how you can communicate culturally also by music.
I think the value of a cultural exchange program is for people just to be ambassadors of their country, because not everybody's as lucky to travel places or to know places. By a person just coming here, or vice versa, you have a little window of the culture of everything.
To hear more from our teachers, visit our Facebook page. We have posted several videos of our teachers talking about their cultural exchange experiences. We also post our teacher stories on our website, teachwithepi.com. So now it's time for questions. I will be answering any questions that you've left in the comments, so if you have not submitted them yet, please ask them now. Also, we encourage you to tell us about yourself. We would love to know where you are from and what you are currently teaching. It looks like we have already heard from teachers from Jamaica, Colombia, Nepal, Ecuador, the Philippines, and more today. And just wherever you are joining us from, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so our first question today is, how do I get started? I'll be giving you all of the in-depth steps in just the next slide. It'll have a little video even, but the basics is that you go to our website, teachwithepi.com, and you scroll down until you see the big orange button that says click here to apply, and then you'll be able to start your application. Our next question is, do I have to be a native English speaker? So the answer is no, and to clarify this a little bit more, being a native English speaker means that English is your first language. And at EPI, we do accept applications from teachers who have English as their second language. However, it is really important that you are fluent in English and have advanced English skills. That is something we're going to be looking for throughout our interviews. Our next question is it important to have professional experience? Is that a requirement? So yes, one of our requirements is that you have at least 2 years full-time teaching experience. Some of our other requirements, just so you know, is advanced English skills, as I just mentioned, that you have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree, and that you are currently teaching. So not only do you need those 2 years full-time teaching experience, but you have to be currently in the classroom. Our next question is, are there any opportunities to teach Spanish or other languages? This is a great question, and yes, we are always looking for foreign language teachers. So that's Spanish, but also German, French, Mandarin, really any languages. And just to go more in depth about this question, another question that we get a lot is just what subjects we place. And we place teachers in all subjects that we teach in K-12 schools. So that is not only foreign languages, but also English as a second language, math, science, music, really any subject that you can think of. Okay, and our next question is, what is the deadline to apply? So we have a rolling deadline at EPI. We accept applications all year long, but we are currently looking at applications for the August 2019 school year, and our placement season begins in April. So if you are wanting to be considered for August 2019, you should really apply as soon as possible. Okay, so it looks like we have another question that came in. Does my degree have to come from the US? Okay, so as I mentioned, it's important, it's one of our requirements that you have the equivalent of a US bachelor's degree. That does not mean that your degree has to come from a US school. It only means that whatever education you have from your home country is the equivalent of a 4-year bachelor's degree in the United States. Okay, our next question is this a part-time or full-time job? So this is a full-time job. Another question that's kind of similar that we get is do we have an online teaching program, which we do not. So as a cultural exchange program, it's really important for us that we have teachers in the classroom full time interacting with students in order for the students to get the full immersive experience of having an international teacher and for you to get the full immersive experience of living and teaching in the United States. So, all EPI teachers live and teach full-time in the United States. Okay, and our last question, and this is a question that we get a lot, it is a driver's license a requirement? So, the basic answer is no. Driving or having a driver's license is not a requirement. Driving is not a requirement while you are here. If you do have a driver's license and wish to drive while you are in the United States, we will need to see that on your application. And then another thing to consider is that in the United States, not all places have very strong public transportation systems. So if you don't have a driver's license and you cannot drive while you are in the United States, you will be limited in the areas that you will be placed because we are not going to place you in an area where you can't get around. So, so that is something to consider when you're doing your application, but driving is not a requirement for the program. Okay, so that's our last question for today. If you did not get to ask your question, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. We will answer all remaining questions in the comments after the broadcast. So now that you know more about our program, it is time to talk about next steps. First, if you have not applied yet, please go to teachwithepi.com and start your application. Once you are there, you will scroll down until you see the orange button that says click here to apply. Then you will need to answer some questions about your eligibility. After you answer the questions and click submit, you will be able to make an account with your email address and start your application. If you have already started your application but have questions about how to continue, email us at team@teachwithepi.com and one of our trained admissions specialists will give you more information on the next steps. Finally, sign up for our mailing list at teachwithepi.com/webinars to get information about our upcoming webinars and to watch all of our previous videos. So to finish today's presentation, I would like to share this quote that illustrates the importance of an international education. J. William Fulbright was a U.S. Senator and the founder of the Fulbright Program. And he said, "There's a multiplier effect in international education, and it carries the possibility, the only real possibility, of changing our manner of thinking about the world, and therefore of changing the world." Here at EPI, we understand how important it is to provide students with a global perspective, and we are so excited to give them and you the opportunity to experience authentic cultural exchange. That's all for today, everyone. If you are interested in signing up for our upcoming webinars, go to teachwithepi.com/webinars and get signed up on our mailing list. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook to hear about our upcoming events, as well as to hear more from our current teachers. If you have any more questions, be sure to email us at team@teachwithepi.com. I'll say that email address for you one more time. It is team@teachwithepi.com. On behalf of everyone at EPI, thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.